Welcome to the very first edition of Calne Town TV. In today's show, I'll be rounding up all the latest news from around the club and talking to first team coach Alex Blake as he looks ahead to the visit of Bishops Lydeard on Saturday. Later in the show, I'll be catching up with assistant manager of the reserve team Aaron Gardner as they prepare for a trip to Hilperton. So we kick off today's show with an exclusive interview with first team coach Alex Blake, with him looking ahead to the game against Bishops Lydeard on Saturday. How's the 2-week break between games enabled you to work on areas of improvement?
We've had two good sessions actually, two very different sessions on Tuesdays. First one, we did a bit of prep for what we anticipated to be the Caution game. So we did a bit of tactical work on how we might deal with their threats out of possession based on what we know. So that was a good sort of 2 hours we spent on the training ground. This Tuesday we did something a little bit different that we haven't done before, and that was a series of 3 in-house games with the reserves. And that's really important to us as a management team with George and Clive, to have that one club mentality, and to periodically get all the players together and just work on some scenarios, allow them to play 30-minute matches really, but with challenges and scenarios. So, you know, we had 35 players there on Tuesday night, which is reflective of how strong the club is at the moment.
Calne have registered 3 clean sheets in a row. What is the secret behind their robust defence?
Well, new players have come into the squad. I think it's clear we lost, or both fullbacks left the club in the summer, and we've had a new centre back. And so we've had, 3/4 of a back line come in. Obviously, Gary's been here for a longer time, but with Jake, Jamie, Jamie's been here a long time as well. But with Matty Russell as well coming in, it takes a while just for players to understand each other and to get that mutual understanding of sort of balls we're likely to attack, areas we're likely to step into. And I think it's testament to their game intelligence that whatever back four we've put out, they've really started to blend together and understand their priorities, which number one is to stop us conceding, and we've been really, really impressed with the progress the defensive units made over the last sort of month or two, really.
Clatts has got 3 clean sheets in a row. What has this done for his confidence?
I don't think confidence was ever an issue with Clatts anyway. Look, I mean, I'm not a goalkeeper coach, but I have a huge amount of respect for goalkeepers, in which is the most difficult position on the pitch, in my view. You simply can't make a mistake. If you're an outfield player, you can make a mistake and you can correct it. With goalkeepers, as we know, they're always amplified. So I've been really, really impressed with Clatts, I must admit. And I think the bigger the game, the higher his performance level, which shows, his background in youth football and where he's come from. I'm sure the lads will tell you he's a fantastic fella as well. And I think he's to have some of his experience and his character behind you has been well appreciated by the boys, I think.
Matty Jenkins has been deployed as a sole striker in the past 2 games. How do you think he's fared in the position?
Yeah, I mean, Matty's strengths are well known to probably a lot of people in Western League football, particularly in this area. What Matty will give you is a really high level of competency, whatever position he plays. Even pre-season he played centre back over at Bradford, and I thought he was outstanding. So Matty's game intelligence and awareness is really high. What he brings to us is just a bit of a platform, or a consistent platform, in terms of when we're playing out and trying to link defence, midfield, and attacking units. Matt is really good at just linking the play, making good runs in behind when it's required, making those unselfish runs, and attacking spaces in a box. So there's been a lot of sort of discourse between the management team and Matt, because we just knew he'd go and be natural in there, and he's done very, very well.
You talk about versatility. There's other players in the team that can play in a variety of positions. How important is it to have versatile players in the squad?
I think it's reflective of, firstly, Ben and Trev's ability to judge character, because we've got footballers in the group that are exactly that. They have a high appreciation of of the roles required across the pitch. So it's not a case of someone saying, I can, I understand this role only, and I'm not, too appreciative of other roles. And so when we sort of ask people to do slightly different jobs, they go in there with their own understanding of, look, these are the basics. In and out of possession, this is what I have to do in this role. And the trick from a coaching and management point of view is to allow them to be themselves when they do that. So we can't compare one player with another. It's just saying, look, when the ball's here, you need to be there. But when you're on it and your decision making, just be really natural and let yourselves come out. So there's a lot of freedom for the guys to build their own confidence within that as well.
Lewis Mccarron signed for the club earlier in the year, but played just 2 games before the season was ended due to COVID. What have you made of his performances in the early stages of this season?
No, I think, Ben and Trev knew Lewis more than me. I knew of Lewis, I've watched him play, but I didn't know him as a person. And I think job number one was to try and provide an environment that Lewis was happy in, and to allow him to go and rediscover his sort of love for the game and his confidence and motivation to do well at this level. So again, it's been a very light touch. When you look at man management, Trev and Ben have been, look, just go and enjoy your football. We know what he gives us, and we'll give some parameters to what he needs to do, but we really just want Lewis to go and be Lewis, because we know he is he's a very creative player. He's off the cuff in the right areas of the pitch, which causes defensive problems, and he works really hard off the ball. So it's really just putting him where he wants to play and allowing him to go and do his stuff. What type of game are you expecting against Bishops Lydeard on Saturday? Wow, yeah, interesting. Look, the cliches are that there's no easy game in this league, and we'll all say that. But it genuinely isn't that case on Saturday with Bishops Lydeard. I mean, they had a tough start, but they had a big result against Devizes on Saturday. Hit 5 goals, so they'll be coming into this feeling a lot better about themselves. Notwithstanding the goals, they probably had some elements of their game that they felt better about as well defensively. So shape, or what they did without the ball as well as on it. So, with the break, we need to sort of get the momentum back and hit them hard in the first 20 minutes. When I last spoke to you, it was before the Bishop Sutton game, and I mentioned us being better on the front foot, and this is exactly what we're going to be doing Saturday again. It's about our mindset, it's about what we do. And it's about achieving a consistent level of performance, whether we're playing top of the league or someone down near the bottom. Lastly, is there any team news ahead of the game? No, we've got a really full squad, as I'm sure Ben and Trevor touched on with you in recent weeks. They're nice problems, by the way, for management to have, because everybody's been performing, but we've got a pretty full squad to pick from. So discussions over the next day or two would be interesting. But what I can guarantee you, as with every week so far, that the team that we do pick will go and represent Calne Town in the right manner, and hopefully we can get the 3 points. The games against Bristol Telephones and Calne Town have been rescheduled earlier this week. The game against Bristol Telephones will be played on the 3rd of November on a Tuesday with a 7:45 kick-off time. The Calne Town visit will be played on Tuesday the 17th of November with the same kick-off time. Calne Town midfielder Nathan Davis has revealed that he fears for the future of English futsal after the FA announced their decision to withdraw funding in September. The England futsal international, who made his debut in 2018, is set to face North Macedonia in a Euro 2022 qualifier, with the team aiming to reach the tournament for the first time in their history. In an interview earlier this week, Nave said, "I don't think I'll be half the player I would be if it wasn't for futsal. I feel for all the young kids playing futsal at the moment, because it is definitely a tool to help you become a better player." Calne Town midfielder Declan McStravick has said he is back to full fitness and is aiming to earn his place back in the starting 11 after a short time out with an ankle injury. And to close the show, Aaron Gardner discusses the game ahead against Hilperton on Saturday. How much have you enjoyed your first few weeks as assistant manager of the reserves?
I've loved it, mate. Clive and Georgia, top blokes, getting me involved nicely. It's a big step between Sundays and Saturdays, but yeah, really enjoying it. the lads are great, and obviously we've got a good start to the season. So it's a good feel around the club.
What has it been like to work with Clive and George?
It's been great. They've got years of experience playing as well as managing. Clive's also been involved with the first team. George was obviously involved with the Resies at the end of last season. So yeah, I'm learning off both of them. But also it's great to be a part of that because we've got a great feel, like I said, and I think we're working well together. We bounce off each other quite well.
What did you make of the performance against Warminster United in the 2-0 win last Saturday?
I think we played them in a friendly. I don't think that did us any favours. They knew they came up against us. They set up quite well against us. They were tactically good. But eventually we broke them down, and obviously we got a couple of goals for the win. I don't think they ever looked like they were going to test us massively, but they set up for a draw, and I think we found it quite frustrating. But yeah, the lads did really well, and we got what we deserved in the end, which was 3 points.
Kieran Gleed came back into the team after missing the first game and added a goal to the game to seal the victory against Warminster. What did you make of his performance, and how important is he to the team?
Yeah, well, I think they knew that he was going to be our playmaker. So I think they targeted him for the first half. I think he got a little bit frustrated. I suppose it was about, what myself, Clive and George did to try and keep him with a level head and get him back into the game in that higher position. And obviously, it worked really well for us in the end, and he popped it there with a goal. So,
how do you think that Ali Bradley fared on his debut for the club?
He's obviously got a wealth of experience in the Western League as well as the Trowbridge District League. So he's going to be a great player for us, great asset to the team. He came on, he did what he does, hustle, work hard. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him in the side this week.
And what are your expectations for the season?
Like I said, when we spoke last time, we're still aiming up high. We want to be, winning the league's top couple. We want to get there, cup run as well. So we're optimistic, we're realistic as well. So we're going to have some bumps in the road, but we've got to keep level-headed and do our thing, and I'm sure we'll be up there.
How confident are you heading into the trip against Hilperton?
They're playing some good teams. They drew with 3 daggers, 2-2, so it's going to be a tough game. It's first v third and second v fourth this weekend, so it's going to be a hard game. We know that we've got to settle well. We've got to play our game, but we should go out there and we expect to have a tough game, but we do expect to come away with 3 points. We're confident. Yeah, we've got to play our game to be able to win and not fall to their level and crumble under pressure with some of these park pitches that we're playing on, because we've also got a lovely pitch at the Brown View.
How delightful was it to see that the Calne fans came out in force after the first team game was called off against Corsham last Saturday?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. We had probably 80 plus people up watching us for a Trowbridge District League side. That's amazing. So you can see the great feel. When our game's off, we'd go watch the first team. When the first game's off, they come watch us. You can feel the club. We had a training game midweek, and we mixed the teams up first and reserves, and no one looked out of place anywhere across the park. So it's a great feel around the club. It's a great club to be at the moment. It's exciting. We want to go places, and yeah, I think anyone that's involved with Calne Town will tell you exactly the same thing as me. There's a great feel around both teams at the moment. We're definitely a club mentality, not just a reserve team and a first team. It's really fun to be at.
Jack Coward, at just 19 years old, has been really impressive for the reserves. What are you making of his progression?
Yeah, you can tell he's going to be a player, and he's a baller. He's got the confidence. He needs a bit of a voice, for my opinion, but he's working on that. He's really, really up there. I think he's touching the first team in the next couple of seasons easily. So we've just got to help him grow, and he'll be there. He's a great lad as well. He's a cracking bloke in the change room. He's got a bit about him. He had a great performance against Chippenham as well. So hat off to him. He's a decent player, and we're lucky to have him. So he's top bloke.
Thanks for tuning in to the first ever edition of Calne Town TV. With a big game up against Bishops Lydeard for the first team this weekend and a trip to Hilperton for the reserves, up the Lily Whites.